Hey guys, so a lot of you have asked about our recent trip to Germany and Austria, and so I wanted to put together this video of our trip for you. We were there a total of 8 nights, so if you're ever in Germany and Austria for that amount of time, hopefully some of this could give you some ideas for your own trip. Also, please forgive me in advance for butchering the pronunciation of some of these German words. So we flew from Raleigh through Iceland and then landed in Munich. We got our rental car there and drove straight to Hallstatt, Austria, which was just under a 3-hour drive.
First drive on a German road.
Ooh. The drive got better and better as we got closer to the majestic mountains. It started raining right after we got there, but it wasn't too bad because that first day, since the weather wasn't great, we basically had the place to ourselves, which is very rare with how popular Hallstatt has become. So it is rainy, but we pretty much have the whole place to ourselves. This is town square. We only stayed in Hallstatt one night, and the only thing we had planned were to take some pictures and then just to walk around the town and enjoy the beauty of it all. That night our food was okay. I got to try pancake soup, which tasted like normal soup with a pancake cut up in it. So random, but I saw it on several other menus, so it must be a thing. The next morning the weather was supposed to be rainy again, but the clouds cleared and it was beautiful. So our pictures turned out awesome. I'll put a link in the description for the website we used if you ever want to take pictures while traveling. They have a lot of different locations. If you sign up with our link, both of us get $25 off, so you should definitely do that if you want. After the pictures, we took the lift up to the top of the mountain overlooking Hallstatt. We grabbed lunch while we were up there and spent some time enjoying the amazing views. We've been to some beautiful towns, and Hallstatt has to be near the top of the most beautiful ones. It is no wonder that Disney based Arendelle from Frozen on Hallstatt. It is truly magical. We then drove to our next base, Berchtesgaden, Germany. It was about an hour and 15-minute drive, and we stayed there for 2 nights. Our Airbnb was really nice. It's hard to believe it was only $90 a night. I'm pretty sure in Fayetteville, a $90 view includes like a Burger King parking lot, so much better. We went straight to Lake Königssee nearby. Sorry if I butchered that. I had heard this was the most beautiful lake in Germany, and I definitely believe it. We got a boat ticket to go out on the lake and got out at the St. Bartholomew stop. We walked around there for an hour or two, and it was stunning. We found out that because the lake is surrounded by mountain walls, that it echoes like you would not believe. We only had about 3 hours there, but honestly, I wish we had at least half of a day to spend here. After that, we had a great dinner, including strawberries with homemade chocolate mousse that was so good. The whole next day we spent in Salzburg, Austria, which was about a 30 or 40-minute drive. We parked in a huge World War II bomb shelter inside the mountain that had been turned into a parking garage, which was awesome. After grabbing breakfast, we had some time to kill before our walking tour, and it was raining, so we went to the Natural History Museum. And although it's geared toward kids, we still thought it was awesome. If you're ever in Salzburg and you have kids, this would be a great place to stop. Our walking tour was great. We got to see a lot of the city highlights on the tour. Salzburg definitely plays up being the birthplace of Mozart. Afterward, we got, and I don't know how to pronounce this, but Sacher Torte, which was a chocolate cake invented in Salzburg. We walked around the beautiful Mirabelle Gardens. We spent some time in St. Peter's Cemetery, a strangely beautiful place, as well as St. Peter's Church. We walked up to Fortress Hohensalzburg and got to see a panoramic view of the city and watch the sunset. Such a wonderful little city. The following day, we drove about 2 hours and 40 minutes to Mittenwald, a long but scenic drive. We got to stay in this dreamy little mountain town for 3 nights, which this was our favorite place by far that we stayed. We loved the town. After walking around the town some and grabbing lunch, we drove about 45 minutes to do a hike to Siebensee Lake. Unfortunately for us, Google Maps took us to the top of the mountain instead of the bottom where the lift was. And we didn't find out until afterward that we had driven up a hiking and biking gravel trail where cars really were not allowed. It was pretty sketchy driving up, honestly, so I should have known, but it's okay. We didn't have time for our original hike, so we did a short waterfall hike. And we got to see a lot of cool animals as well. On the way back to the Airbnb, we stopped at Lake Eibsee and hiked around the lake, which was beautiful because it's right at the base of Zugspitze, the tallest mountain in Germany. The following day, we actually drove to the right spot this time and got to do the Siebensee hike. This was probably my favorite thing I got to do on this trip. It was absolutely stunning from start to finish. What's up? We're at Lake Siebensee. I don't know if that's how you say it. We got the
hiking.
Got the little ducks coming in behind us with the green water and the Alps, of course. Very nice. After getting to Siebensee Lake, I wanted to go further into the mountains, so I continued on, and Cameron went back the way we had came. I met some German friends along the way and saw so many different lakes on the way back. And walked through so much snow. You would not believe it in May. Honestly, probably half a mile of snow, I would guess. And a lot of it was on sloped areas, which was also kind of sketchy. So if you do this hike, don't be like me and do it without hiking poles and wearing tennis shoes. But this was one of my favorite hikes that I've ever done. It was truly breathtaking. Afterward, we got some snacks at Aldi. We loved the chocolate milk that they had. Fortunately, we had time to make it to a nearby town and do an alpine coaster. It was just me this time, but man, it was so fun. Until I got stuck behind these really slow people. The next day we drove a little over an hour to Neuschwanstein Castle, the most famous and beautiful castle on Earth. It's the one Walt Disney based his castle on. Mary's Bridge, where people walk to get the iconic pictures, it was closed, so we weren't able to get any amazing shots of it. It definitely looks better from a distance, but that afternoon I got to see it from a distance and a completely different angle because I actually went paragliding over the castle. That was an awesome experience. Not very adrenaline filled, but extremely peaceful and beautiful. It felt like I was seeing live drone footage of everything. Super surreal. After that, we had time to go back by the alpine coaster place because Cameron wanted to do it this time. She really enjoyed it, as did I, even though I caught up to her very quickly. The following day, we drove to Garmisch-Partenkirchen to do a gorge hike. We parked near the Olympic ski jump. The Winter Olympics in 1936 were held here, and so we parked there and walked to the hike. The actual gorge hike itself was only 700 meters, but man, it was an amazing 700 meters. You're walking right beside a roaring river. And through caves, just right above it. I would definitely recommend coming early if you ever do this. And honestly, this hike was good for any age group. We saw old people, we saw tiny kids. And as far as hikes go, this is one of the easiest hikes that I've done for an amazing payoff. After that, we got back on the Autobahn and drove to Munich for our last 2 nights in Germany. After we dropped off our rental car, we were walking to our hotel and it was pouring rain and hail, but we made it relatively dry because we had with us our ugly ponchos. After the rain stopped, we walked around there and there was hardly anyone out. It honestly felt like we had all of Munich to ourselves. The following morning, we got our COVID test so that we could get back in the US, and then went straight to Dachau to tour the concentration camp there. We did the audio tour, and man, listening to some of it and reading the information they had available, it was honestly tough to do. Everyone knows concentration camps were awful, but being there and standing in the middle of it and seeing it in person makes it more real and horrific and very weighty. Overall, it was a tough but amazing experience that everyone should do if they get the chance. When we made it back to Munich, I got the biggest schnitzel I had ever seen. I honestly could only eat half of it. Then we did an audio walking tour of Munich and got to see a lot of the main historic sites. We learned a lot of cool things and interesting things and had a great time. After dinner, we made the mistake of going to McDonald's for some ice cream. Their ice cream machine was working, but the milkshakes we got were very disappointing. The following morning, we packed up and headed back to the US. It was an amazing trip. If you have any questions about our trip or real estate, since this is a real estate channel, please reach out to us anytime. We love helping people achieve their travel and real estate dreams. So be sure to subscribe while you're here, and we will see you next time.